talk about the weather. Something that we see change pretty rapidly here in Ohio. And one thing that we see within God's Word is how He can change the weather at a given notice, how Jesus even calmed the waves of the sea. So we're going to dive into that a little bit today. In Genesis, we realize that God is the creator of all things. But something even cooler is that He has authority over all of the weather. Does that mean He controls the weather necessarily? Not necessarily. He can if He chooses to or wants to, but He has authority over the weather is the biggest thing. So we're going to go into Job 36. It says, God is greater than we can understand. His years cannot be counted. Who can understand the spreading of the clouds? Only God can. Weathermen get a pretty bad rap. They predict the weather, but it doesn't always mean that it's going to go that way. But weather's pretty uncontrollable. If you and I looked outside, it was a beautiful sunny day like it is right now, it could be snowing in a couple hours, and we wouldn't even notice beforehand. So how can we know that God can control the weather? We're going to jump into Genesis chapter 9, and that was where the flood was over, and Noah and his family were out of the ark, and God told them, I have placed my rainbow in the clouds so that He could show us that He will never flood the earth again. In Exodus chapter 14, when Moses was taking the Israelites out of Egypt into the promised land, it says he stretched his hand over the sea, and the Lord swept back the sea with a strong east wind all night. I mean, we know wind. Just, I think Monday, there was 50-mile-per-hour gusts. But that was a strong east wind all night. That was not Moses. That was God, completely. So then we're going to jump into James chapter 5. And this was with, they were talking about Elijah. Elijah was human as we are. And yet, when he prayed earnestly that no rain would fall, none fell on the earth for 3.5 years. Then, praying following that, the sky sent down rain and earth began to bring in crops. So we see it so much. That was all in the Old Testament. Let's go to the New Testament. And Jesus, He calmed the waves. He defied gravity by walking on water. And even in His death, what we just celebrated this past week for Easter, He died, He resurrected, but in His death, before He died, darkness came over the land, and then He let out His Spirit. The earth shook and the rocks split. Surely He was the Son of God, is what a person standing by had said. So to end with this, we're going to jump back into Job chapter 37. He directs the snow to fall on the earth and tells the rain to pour down. Then everyone stops working so they can watch His power. So for this one item, one message, you could grab a raincoat or an umbrella, but just go outside, take in some fresh air, and take a picture and post it and tag the Rock of Salem in it, and just take in God's glory, the weather that is all around us every day. All right, I'll see you guys later.